Edwin Hubble. Even the universe expands slower than your self-destructive behavior. Have you ever felt that tug of cosmic awe when you stare up at a night sky, dotted with countless stars, and wonder just how vast and unhurried the universe can be? Have you sensed that our daily rush, anxieties, and destructive habits exist in sharp contrast to the almost timeless dance of galaxies and dark matter? If so, you might resonate deeply with a jarring statement attributed to Edwin Hubble, the legendary astronomer who discovered that our universe is expanding. Even the universe expands slower than your self-destructive behavior. That claim is more than a clever quip. It jolts us into realizing how quickly we can sabotage our own lives compared to the patient, eon-spanning pace of cosmic evolution. If that contradiction piques your curiosity, buckle in. By the end of this sweeping journey, you'll not only grasp the deeper logic behind Hubble's seemingly hyperbolic remark, but also discover a practical framework to temper your self-destructive impulses. In the final moments, you might just see how acknowledging our cosmic scale frees us from habits that devour our potential far faster than galaxies drift apart. Edwin Hubble's name echoes in nearly every astronomy class. He was the man who confirmed that the fuzzy patches of light, called nebulae, were actually galaxies far beyond our own Milky Way, and he measured how fast these galaxies receded from us. His landmark finding birthed the notion of an ever-expanding universe. But behind the mathematics and telescope observations lay a humbling realization. Cosmic timescales dwarf all human concerns. To Hubble, it was almost comedic how quickly we humans could wreck ourselves through vices, anxieties, or social strife, while the cosmos glided forward in quiet majesty. The statement about self-destruction outrunning cosmic expansion, though never found verbatim in his official writings, circulates as an apocryphal reflection of his perspective on humanity's contradictory impulses. The galaxies move outward slowly, but we, ironically, can unravel ourselves at breakneck speed. To unravel the meaning, we must first appreciate Hubble's vision. At Mount Wilson Observatory in the 1920s, he used the then-revolutionary Hooker telescope to photograph distant Cepheid variable stars in spiral nebulae. These measurements established that Andromeda and others like it lay far outside the Milky Way. Not only that, but a pattern emerged. The farther the galaxy, the faster it seemed to be moving away, leading to Hubble's law, which underpins the Big Bang theory. This expansion, while enormous, occurs at a pace measured in kilometers per second per megaparsec. A cosmic snail's crawl compared to, say, how swiftly we can degrade a healthy body with daily poor choices, or sabotage our relationships through impulsive behaviors, or let negative habits corrode our mental well-being. Hubble's quip, if we take it as genuine or paraphrased, highlights that cosmic expansions, majestic and unstoppable, still pale next to the mind-boggling speed at which we can unravel our own potential. So how do we interpret this cosmic-laced condemnation of self-destructiveness? In essence, it's an invitation to reflect on the mismatch between cosmic patience and human recklessness. If the galaxies separated by unimaginable voids can remain stable and gently drift over billions of years, why do we find ourselves plunging into destructive spirals, burning out from stress, letting addictions rule us, or falling victim to cyclical self-sabotage at speeds that might destroy a life path in a matter of months or even days? Part of the answer lies in our evolutionary wiring. We're wired to crave immediate gratification and respond to immediate threats, not to plan meticulously for decades. But the mismatch in timescales is staggering. While cosmic transformations require epochs, our short-sighted decisions can unravel careers, health, or relationships in the blink of an eye. Hubble, for his part, was not a psychologist or self-help guru, but an astronomer. Yet he mingled with intellectual circles that included writers, philosophers, and other scientists who often mulled over how cosmic perspective might reorder our priorities. The rumored statement about self-destruction outrunning cosmic expansion can be seen as Hubble's wry commentary on how petty or reckless we can be when a universe offers us so much grandeur to contemplate. He might have been baffled at how swiftly humans engage in wars, pollution, or personal sabotage, all while the cosmos stands as an eternal backdrop, urging us to slow down, reflect, and align ourselves with something more enduring. So what kind of self-destructive behaviors might Hubble's statement address? The range is vast: substance abuse, procrastination, chronic negative thinking, toxic relationships, self-harm. Each can wreak havoc far faster than we realize. A single binge might upend years of sobriety. A single meltdown might shatter personal bonds. A persistent pattern of ignoring health can accumulate lethal consequences in a fraction of a human lifetime. Meanwhile, a galaxy 100 million light-years away trudges outward at thousands of kilometers per second, but relative to cosmic scales, that's a slow, methodical pace. Hubble's exasperation underscores that we have no time to waste if we want to harness our potential, because ironically, we can burn it all down in less time than it takes for starlight to traverse a fraction of cosmic distance. Before we dive further, let's plant our first question for you, dear reader, to consider or to leave an answer in the comments. When you reflect on your own life, can you pinpoint a pattern of self-destructive behavior, no matter how small, that seems to unravel your goals faster than you ever intended? And if so, do you sense a cosmic perspective might help you see that behavior differently, possibly motivating you to change? Now, let's pivot to the heart of how a cosmic viewpoint might help us rein in self-destructiveness. Modern psychology often promotes mindfulness and big-picture thinking to break negative cycles. If you see yourself as part of a grand, ancient, and ongoing cosmic story, one in which your existence is both fleeting and infinitely precious, it might reorient your priorities. Hubble's cosmic vantage can instill awe and humility, shifting your focus from short-term impulses to the horizon of a life well lived. That sense of wonder, some psychologists argue, fosters intrinsic motivation for healthier choices and more purposeful living. Because when you hold the universe in mind, your personal meltdown or moment of indulgence might look trivial next to billions of years, yet its impact on your finite life is anything but trivial. In that tension between cosmic patience and your short existence arises an urgency to avoid wasted potential. Furthermore, the notion that even the universe expands slower than your self-destructive behavior can jolt you into an honest reckoning with just how rapidly your time on Earth can be consumed by negative habits. If cosmic expansions measure a fundamental shift in space-time, and it's still overshadowed by how swiftly you can sabotage your path, that hyperbolic truth can strike like a thunderbolt. It's not meant to shame, but to awaken. Realizing how ephemeral your moments are might push you to ask, why am I letting these destructive impulses set the pace, robbing me of the few decades I possess? That question often triggers a reevaluation of your priorities. Let's interpret what might be behind this. Cosmic expansion is a steady outward drift governed by dark energy and universal constants. Self-destruction, on the other hand, can be a chaotic inward collapse governed by unresolved traumas, emotional triggers, or addictive cycles. Hubble's cosmic lens suggests we can overshadow the universe's slow outward dance with our inward catastrophes. But that also means we hold a power, albeit a dangerous one, to accelerate personal meltdown. If that power can be recognized, it can be harnessed or reversed. In other words, the same immediacy we bring to sabotage can be channeled into immediate positive interventions. Instead of letting a day's stress push us to binge or lash out, we can choose a constructive response that fosters growth. The cosmic perspective reminds us that we do indeed have choice. Another dimension. Many interpret Hubble's statement as a critique of humanity at large, referencing not just personal choices, but collective self-destructive patterns like environmental destruction or nuclear proliferation. The expansions of galaxies take billions of years to significantly alter cosmic structure, but we humans can degrade our planet's climate or spark global conflict in a single century or less. This macro viewpoint merges with the personal. Whether it's global warming or a personal meltdown, the caution is the same. Do we truly want to overshadow cosmic progress with cataclysmic behavior? If entire galaxies are calmly drifting outward, how foolish it must appear for us to scorch our only home in a fraction of that cosmic timescale. Once you see yourself as a caretaker of that cosmic gift, the impetus to choose sustainable habits, personally and collectively, becomes stronger. Now, stepping away from the philosophical, you might be yearning for a more tangible method to break self-sabotage, presumably something that resonates with Hubble's cosmic vantage. So let's propose a technique that merges cosmic mindfulness with practical habit reformation. Cosmic pause. Each morning, or whenever you sense destructive impulses stirring, briefly tune into the cosmic scale. Close your eyes, picture a spiral galaxy, or remember an image of deep space. Contemplate how that galaxy's slow expansion dwarfs your daily drama. Let that realization calm the frantic edges of your mind. This doesn't have to be lengthy. Just 30 seconds of cosmic immersion can shift your emotional state. Identity check. Next, remind yourself you're a being of stardust with a fleeting but magnificent chance to do something meaningful. If the universe is patient, you can be patient. If it's purposeful in its slow expansions, you can be purposeful in your daily choices. Let that perspective put your destructive urges in context. Binge eating, reckless spending, or lashing out is a poor use of cosmic potential. Micro-intervention. Now you pick a single constructive step that counters your destructive impulse. If you want to lash out at someone, write a note of gratitude to them or someone else. If you crave a harmful substance, do a quick burst of physical activity or go for a short reflective walk. If you're about to waste hours doom scrolling, watch a brief astronomy lecture or read about cosmic discoveries. The aim is to redirect the negative energy into a small positive or neutral act. This step is the hinge that keeps your meltdown from overshadowing cosmic expansions. Reflection. Finally, at day's end, note if your cosmic pause and micro-intervention helped. Revisit Hubble's alleged statement. Did you let self-destruction outrun the universe's gentle expansions? Or did you align your daily pace with something less chaotic, more stable, more cosmic in grace? Over time, these daily reflections build a new habit of mindful cosmic perspective. This method is more than a gimmick. Rooted in mindfulness, it harnesses the transformative power of awe. Researchers show that experiences of awe can reduce ego-driven anxiety, foster altruism, and promote healthier choices. By regularly invoking the cosmic scale, you saturate your mind with awe's calming and elevating effect, which can stifle destructive impulses. Hubble's entire career was about unveiling cosmic wonders. You're effectively letting that same wonder reshape your day-to-day patterns. Perhaps you worry, will cosmic thoughts alone save me from deep-rooted self-sabotage like addiction or severe trauma? Of course not. For severe issues, therapy, medical help, and supportive communities are crucial. But the cosmic method can act as a supplementary anchor, a daily spark of motivation that reminds you how petty these harmful urges are compared to the majesty of existence. And sometimes, that spark is enough to buy you the clarity you need to seek professional assistance or to keep pressing forward in your healing journey. The key is synergy, cosmic perspective plus real-world interventions for mental or physical health. Now, let's insert our second question for reflection or for comments. If you adopted the cosmic pause method for even a week, do you think it might help you defuse one self-destructive pattern? Which specific destructive habit would you try it on first? And how do you envision that cosmic vantage altering your response? Of course, none of this is a formal sermon from Edwin Hubble. We can't find a polished self-help treatise under his name. But the rumor of his statement, even the universe expands slower than your self-destructive behavior, encapsulates a timeless lesson. The contrast between cosmic patience and human haste in matters that can ruin us. If there's any authenticity in that rumored remark, it was likely a wry observation from a scientist exasperated by how people, or society at large, rush headlong into devastation. Hubble witnessed world wars, the dawn of nuclear weapons, and the fracturing of global peace. Meanwhile, his observations indicated that galaxies, though moving away at great speeds, are still relatively unhurried on cosmic timescales. The tragedy is how swiftly we can erode our own prospects, ignoring the cosmic wonder that could have guided us to more thoughtful, harmonious paths. Let us reflect on one more angle. While Hubble revolutionized astronomy, others in his era, like Einstein or Eddington, also mused on cosmic significance. Einstein famously said, "I want to know the mind of God. Everything else is just details." Eddington wrote poetically about stars forging life's building blocks. Hubble's rumored statement belongs to that tradition of seeing cosmic insights as mirrors for human behavior. By glimpsing how galaxies behave, we learn about ourselves. If cosmic expansion is a slow dance, maybe we too should approach life with deliberate, growth-oriented steps, resisting the urge to blow ourselves up, figuratively or literally, at a pace that's almost comedic in the cosmic scheme. That comedic irony can be a clarion call. We can do better. But how does that doing better manifest in practical, day-to-day terms? Start by acknowledging how fleeting your life is next to cosmic timescales. Let that humbling truth coax you out of self-destructive cycles. If your life is short, why degrade it further with destructive coping mechanisms or toxic relationships? Why not, like the universe, expand outward but steadily, building a legacy or forging deeper connections in a calm, purposeful manner? Hubble's cosmic vantage can be your daily reminder. Yes, the cosmos is massive and ancient, and you have but a flicker of existence. Make it count. Don't fritter it away in a meltdown that dwarfs the speed of cosmic expansions. That mental shift can be surprisingly potent. Many find that adopting a big-picture perspective reduces stress, fosters resilience, and encourages them to cultivate more constructive habits, from exercise to creative pursuits to community service. Some even take a literal approach, pairing stargazing or cosmic documentaries with habit-breaking efforts. For instance, if you're trying to quit smoking, each time you feel the urge, watch a short clip of a galaxy zoom out or a star cluster forming. Let the visual immersion quell your craving, replaced by cosmic awe. Over weeks, those cravings might diminish. Similarly, if you're battling self-sabotaging negativity, keep a cosmic photo on your phone's lock screen. Before you sink into negative self-talk, open that photo, breathe, and recall Hubble's expansion concept. Am I going to spin out faster than Andromeda recedes, or slow down, gather calm, and remain stable? That rhetorical question frames your dilemma in cosmic terms, often defusing the immediate meltdown. In summation, the rumored quote, "Even the universe expands slower than your self-destructive behavior," might be an apocryphal piece of cosmic wisdom from Hubble, but it resonates with deeper truths about the mismatch between cosmic tranquility and human recklessness. By letting it shape our daily viewpoint, we can harness a sense of cosmic humility, awe, and patience. That vantage can be a mighty antidote to destructive impulses, providing a mental anchor in moments we risk unraveling. Sure, we still must address underlying issues, trauma, social environment, mental health, but cosmic reflection can lubricate the path to better choices. That is the real payoff, a mind that values each moment as precious, refusing to blow it up in a hurry of chaos, choosing instead to expand gracefully, akin to the galaxies themselves. As we near the conclusion, remember that while Hubble never wrote a self-help book, his cosmic discoveries inadvertently do shape how we see ourselves. We now know the universe had a beginning, the Big Bang. It's expanding, and perhaps it will continue for eons. Or maybe it will eventually cool to a silent hush. In any scenario, the timescales are unimaginable next to our short lifespans. That realization, if taken to heart, can jolt us into living more intentionally, more rationally, and more passionately, free of the destructive cycles that squander the gift of our fleeting existence. If you let that jolt sink in, you might indeed break patterns of negativity or addiction far more quickly than you thought possible, shifting from a downward spiral to a gently outward growth, reminiscent of cosmic expansions, but at a personal, self-directed pace. Now, let me pose one final question for reflection. If each day for the next month you paused at least once to remember that entire galaxies remain serene across billions of years, would it help you reframe even your worst impulses or darkest moods? How might you use that cosmic stillness as a model for your own calm, preventing that meltdown you sense on the horizon? If you adopt that habit, call it the Hubble pause, you might find your life transforms in small but profound ways. Maybe you start painting more, or journaling, or reconnecting with friends, or dropping the excuses that keep you locked in destructive cycles. Because the truth behind Hubble's alleged statement is a reminder that no meltdown, no momentary sabotage is worth overshadowing the majesty of your potential, particularly when set against a universe that moves at an infinitely measured pace. And if galaxies can maintain their elegance, drifting softly through cosmic time, perhaps we too can move more gracefully through our days, ensuring we outlast destructive impulses that would otherwise vanish us in a mere blink of stardust. With that, we can conclude. Even the universe expands slower than your self-destructive behavior, stands as both a warning and a promise. The warning: yes, you can sabotage yourself far too swiftly if you let your impulses run amok. The promise: armed with a cosmic vantage, you can pivot from meltdown to mindful evolution, reclaiming your life from destructive patterns. Ultimately, Hubble's cosmic message is that it's never too late to slow down, to align with cosmic patience, and to expand your life in the direction of growth and wonder, rather than letting it implode in a burst of self-made chaos. That, perhaps, is the legacy we can glean from the man who measured the universe's expansion. It's within our power to choose a gentler, more measured pace, forging a life that mirrors the cosmos in grandeur, but not in destructive speed.